Well, here we are again. It's still Poet the Poet, and now we come to poet, novelist, actor, star of stage, screen, and Lord knows what, and bon vivant, David Huberman.
Hey.
Hey.
What's going on there?
Easy there. I didn't put a tack on your chair today. He hails from the South Bronx originally, within spitting distance of Yankee Stadium, and boy, could those baseball players, well, never mind that, but where he shagged flies all through high school, or something like that, and caught a few baseballs, too, I believe.
Here and there.
Here and there. Let's see. Then was relocated to Rego Park in Queens, one of our favorite places, as a matter of fact, and the rest of this is completely illegible. Tell us about yourself, David.
Well, it's like this.
Yeah.
I went to the same bungalow colony David Berkowitz used to go to.
Ah, but he made it big, and
he made it big.
Yeah, and you?
And I just ended up staying with the post office. He went from the post office to much bigger things.
Mm-hmm.
But I went from the post office to being a poet.
And being here.
And being here.
On Poet the Poet of all
Poet the Poet.
And then what?
And, well, I'm ready to rock and roll, shake, rattle, and roll. And
you've been published a lot, haven't you? I know Medicinal Purposes here has run one of your stories.
Yes, very good, too. So it's a story about my father. Father was a concentration camp victim, person, and
survivor, I hope.
Survivor, yes, and survivor. And it was a story that I really wanted to get picked up, and I'm glad you guys picked it up and published it.
Okay. What else do you write about?
Sex. I like writing about different.
Oh, look, they're paying
types of
attention
sex.
again. Different types of.
Well, people have all kinds of skeletons.
Do you do a lot of on-site research for this?
I do my research, here and there.
All right, Dr. Kinsey, how about a sample of your writing?
Okay, here we go. This is a positive viewpoint of global warmings, and it's called A Hot Day in January. Jeb McGrugger is the name. I was on a new case following a beach bum surfer named Hanson. He was tanned and rugged looking, the types the babes all went gaga for. The problem was he liked his women cold and dead. Hanson was a regular with the Rockaway Beach crowd. I decided to check it out. The sun was sizzling, the sand was packed with grease and oiled bodies, and my mouth was drier than a Mojave Desert. Give me a large pina colada, I said to the bartender in the nearest dive facing the ocean. Soon, with one hand on my drink and the other on my binoculars, I was watching Hanson, waiting for him to make a move. The air was alive with music. The Ramones, the Beach Boys, Tito Puente, salsa, rap, Sinatra, and Beethoven all blended into one big glaring noise and gave my poor eardrums a beating. I put cotton in my ears to avoid amplifying my headache, and I looked at my watch. It was 12 noon. The beach was an overload. I couldn't see one grain of sand through the wall-to-wall people. The babes were bursting out of the woodwork. They were topless and bottomless dolls in those little blue micro thongs and pink French bikinis and sexy hot lesbian types, Bridget Bardot lookalikes, and Raquel Welch clones were enough to drive a man like me over. I was starting to lose my concentration on Hanson because of all the beautiful women. Quickly, I refocused my spy glasses on him. He was putting a big move on a youthful Ursula Andress type. All of a sudden, I noticed a commotion in the crowd to the right of Hanson and saw a young blonde beauty rush frantically out of the water. And get this, a giant killer shark was coming at her like a torpedo right up on the beach. Even I got a shock when I saw that legs with flippers on the feet were sticking out of the shark's jaws. Those flippers were still going up and down between that shark's blood-stained teeth. I was overcome with a spasm of nausea and puked my guts onto the white hot sand. The crowd of sunbathers had run away in horror. Then I remembered Hanson again. What the hell happened to Hanson and the gorgeous dame? I searched the beach with my binoculars, and as I feared, there was no sign of Hanson or the Ursula double. I did see Jaws, though. People had ventured back and were smashing its head with lead pipes, baseball bats, and golf clubs. I heard talk of a free shark barbecue at 5 o'clock for the Rockaway surf and turf crowd, buzzing all around me. As one bleached and tanned ocean banger said to another, "Hey, dude, I hear Mako Tiger Shark protein will knock your socks off." Well, there you have it. Just another fine day in January for New York City Private Dick.
What part of Rockaway was this again?
Rockaway Beach.
Well, that covers a lot of ground, but I know what I'm doing next weekend. As a matter of fact, David, you gave me a great idea for a new magazine for Stephen Hartman to come up with, and it was right in the beginning of the story there, when everybody was going gaga over the women. I guess you can see what's coming. All together now, make room for
Gaga. Oh, yeah, I could see that happening. Yeah.
That's what I like about David Huberman. He's inspirational. We can get that. What else do you do for a living?
Oh, I work for the post office. And
we covered that.
And I work a flea market stand now with the Chelsea Flea Market.
Are those stories that you write about the post office, are those true stories or fictionalized? I've always wondered.
They're mostly true, but they're fictionalized a little to protect the innocent.
Let's see. Fictional reality, we call it in the trade. I hope at the flea markets you're not selling stamps.
Oh, no. That's a very, no one wants to buy stamps. They want to buy collector's items, antiques, junk. They want junk. The public wants junk. But
you sell some of the poets we know.
Well, actually, sometimes a chapbook or two does slip in there.
Okay, how about slipping in another tall tale there?
Okay.
Or spin us a yarn or something.
Now, this piece was originally for MTV. MTV called me and said, we want to see a poet write an advertisement for Dennis Hopper about motorcycles. So I said, I don't know nothing about motorcycles. I've never been on one, and I'm afraid of them. But I had a lot of friends that were on motorcycles, so I took a tape recorder, and in 24 hours, I taped everybody, and this is what I wrote. This is called Dennis Hopper Monologue About Freedom of Motorcycles. Number 1, you don't drive a motorcycle. You ride a motorcycle. Yeah, the only comparison would be to fly. Yeah, because it feels like flying. You come up from a dead stop out of the hole and you get speed rush. The bike growls, you're working the throttle and you get pure acceleration. A slight glance in the rearview mirror and you only see blacktop spit up into the air. You redline it and then you shift it to third and it's goodbye Emerald City. Yeah, it's freedom, all right. You're breaking away from where you were and you're gaining the freedom to be where you're going to be. Fast. And number 2, when she's riding on my back, I become her throne. And when she isn't there, it doesn't matter because it's me in the road, burning down the highway. I don't need anybody or anything. I don't even think about going down. There's an old axiom. There are those who have been down and those who are going down. I don't even think about it because when you turn that key, immortality begins. And if you're not living in the moment, you're not really alive. But if I had to explain it to you, you wouldn't understand.
Perhaps. I prefer three-wheelers myself, but you'd be surprised what you can get into a sidecar these days.
Well, I prefer just a little bike.
Very, very appropriate for a bar. I think I'll order one later on.
I like my little bicycle. That's about it.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of motorcycle enthusiasts as of late. What I like is that it's cheaper to go through the toll booth in a motorcycle.
Yeah, I guess I would, but the thing is, the funny thing about this is, I almost sold this to MTV.
Yeah.
But Dennis Hopper decided not to do it, and Lou Reed decided to do it. And of course, Lou Reed wrote his own commercial, so that ended up
He probably sung it. There was a fellow you could have interviewed who I know, Charlie Davison, who.
Charlie Davison.
Yeah, he had something to do with their production,
Oh well. Well, that was the end of me with MTV.
So what special projects are you involved in to make up for all that?
Let's see.
Sold his motorcycle, and then.
Well, I'm going to do a reading at ABC No Rio. And I'm doing some acting stuff coming up. Oh, I'm going to be. That's right. I'm going to be in this an independent film. It's sort of an S&M type of film, and they're gonna put a girdle on me or something.
The poet. Okay,
but,
the poetry circuit is good training for S&M, I'm afraid, and it could be. But Stephen, let me just get you a quick question here. Would you buy a used motorcycle from this man?
I'd have to really think about it. I'd have to kick the tires. You know what I mean?
Well, they'll kick the starter or something. You had another piece I think you were planning to do.
Okay, this is my serious piece.
Serious.
Serious. This piece is called "This Place Has Been Condemned."
Oh.
An old Art Deco movie theater in Kew Gardens, Queens, New York. Black and white films flashing by on the screen. Subtitles are read by the audience except for those few that are sleeping, dreaming their own films on the astral plane. The light from the big screen illuminates the people sitting in the rows of red velvet seats, revealing happy faces, some with alert expressions, others totally relaxed. Some are so caught up in a movie their faces shine with unrestrained passion. This disintegrated movie palace might be the only place they are allowed to show they have feelings. Outside the picture show, they become faceless, expressionless strangers to each other, but inside this house of images, they can live out their fantasies through Bogart, Chaplin, Monroe, Gable. Though their world only extends to the boundary lines of Kew Gardens, Queens, in this haven of darkness and projected lights, they are transported to the jungles of Peru, the Egyptian pyramids, Casablanca, city of intrigue and romance. When you enter this ancient cinema, leave your worldly troubles with the ticket taker. Reality will wait for you patiently just outside the exit door.
Are you trying to imply that every time you make an independent production, somebody condemns a theater?
No.
I should hope not. What is it like, doing an independent production?
Well,
can you get Steven a job?
It depends. You know what? You don't have to be you don't have to be an actor. You just have to be someone who just has to like the way you look. And there's a lot of famous actors that they can't do stage. You put them on stage and they would die out there. So it just depends. Anybody could do film. I think anybody. You can take any person off the street and you can make them look good. 25, 45, 55 takes, they're going to look good. Girdle or no girdle.
55? Oh, even I could look good after 55 takes. It depends what you're taking when you're doing that. What's the weirdest thing that's ever happened to you on a shoot?
The weirdest thing is one night. The weirdest thing was not doing the movie. It was when I saw the movie, this underground movie I was in, she purposely scratched the film so that it looked like it was totally amateur, like the film wasn't working good, and she did it on purpose.
An instant antique that increases the value of the film.
I guess I wasn't too happy watching it. I did all that hard work.
Well, it could be worse if this was a horse race. To get scratched would mean you were thrown out altogether. Think about it. Anyway, David Huberman, I want to thank you for coming on Poet the Poet. Likewise, Stephen Hartman.
Thank you.
And thanks to Victor for letting us be in the Orange Bear, and we'll see you soon.